I did it. Okay, it's on.
Oh yeah, it's on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. I'm just going to put this over you. And then with this on top, can you hold it? Would you want to stay in something this big for the rest of your life?
No.
And pretty much this is all you have for entertainment? Okay. Okay, what if? What if you had to be in this space for the rest of your life? From this to back there. And you have to spend the rest of your life with all of these people. And you couldn't ever see your family or your friends ever again. It would kind of suck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what they have to go through.
Wait, they have to like that.
I'm sorry?
Like,
Individually, that's pretty much as much space as you would get. As a whole, this is pretty much how much space you get with these other people. So yeah.
Meaning if you were a whale in captivity at SeaWorld. Is that right?
Yep. So, like we talked about, orcas or killer whales, and it's not on there. How do you want to freeze it, Destiny?
I just turned it on. I don't know what I did.
Thank you.
Is it on the free? I'm sorry.
It's on them.
Okay. So, orcas, also known as killer whales, just a little bit of background, they're not actually whales, they're actually dolphins. The name killer whale is actually a misnomer from like the 18th century. And here's a picture of one out in the ocean, probably around the northwest. So why does it matter about any of this? Usually when you think about fish, they're not very smart, but orcas, killer whales, actually have a brain that's 5 times bigger than ours. And part of that brain actually has a bit that we don't, so they have emotions that are much stronger than ours. And in their family structure, they're gonna stay with their mom, like especially the boys, they're gonna stay with their moms for their whole lives. So while you might want to ditch your parents the second you turn 18, they're going to stay with their moms their whole lives. Even the girls, after they have babies, they're still going to stay there. But like we were talking about earlier, they're taken in from their families and they're not treated very well. See, and usually the ones that are taken from their families are very young, from a couple of months to no more than 5. Because then it's easier for them to be transported. And people who, people at SeaWorld who are supposed to be giving them first-class care really don't. As you can see by that chin, the way it's indented like that shouldn't be there. And so why are they put into these cages and just made to perform over and over again? Like, why do we put criminals away? You can just shout it out. I'm sorry?
they're not safe. They're dangerous.
Yeah, like they've done something wrong. And so we make them go into this one area for a certain amount of time until they've, gone through rehabilitation or whatever to become a better person. Orchids have done nothing wrong, and yet they're stuck in these cages for the rest of their lives. So, like we said, that they've done nothing wrong. There's never even been a documented, reliable case of an orca hurting a human in the wild. Whereas in captivity, it's a little different. This is Tilikum. He's killed 3 people. He's pretty notorious for that. The 3 people he killed were Kelty Burns, I think Daniel P. Dukes, who was actually from South Carolina, and Don Branchu. The first and the third were trainers who were working with Tilikum, and the second, Daniel, actually went into Tilikum's tank at night, but he still ended up dead. So a lot of people ask why Telecom killed those 3 people. Nobody has a surefire answer because this kind of activity, actions by an orca is not seen in the wild, so they don't have anything to compare it to. But I could say it could be from the rakes he gets, which is teeth against skin. And Telecom has been going through that kind of pain since he was taken and put in with these 2 other female orcas who often bullied him. And so he was also stolen away from his family, and the amount of medication he's on is disgusting. Like, a lot of the trainers who actually have given him this medication admit they have no idea what it's for. And here's a picture of just some of the rakes. You can see that over here, the blood. And usually they're like all over his body. And probably at least some of the medication is so he doesn't get infected. This is not Telecom though. So killer whales in places like SeaWorld, they don't deserve to be there. They've done nothing wrong, and yet they're going through this terrible torture every single day. So hopefully after seeing this, you kind of want to do something about it. You want to learn more maybe about it. Have any of you seen the movie Free Willy?
Yeah.
Okay. You might not know this, but the killer whale in it was named Keiko. And he actually was an actual orca. It's not CG except for the very last scene. And he actually was able to be released back into the ocean. He was able to be retaught how to fish, how to swim, how to be on his own, how to vocalize, all of that good stuff. And he was actually able to get free because a ton of kids all around the world who saw the movie were like, no, we're going to get him free. And since y'all are a bunch of teenagers, probably can do a bit more. So here are some sites and other sources that if you wanted to, you could check out. But also, they're all linked to on my website. So I'm going to hand these out and you can just go on there if you want to. It would be awesome. That's it. Is there any
Questions?
Why did you decide to talk about killer whales?
I think someone mentioned blackfish. That really piqued my interest because it doesn't seem right for something so smart to be locked away like that. Any others?
Right there in front of you.
Oh.
Do you think that you can make a profession out of this?
I know there's a lot of people like Richard Garrett and Rick O'Barry who have done so. So possibly, it'd be really cool to do that. And then I think you had a question?
Yeah, how do they catch the whales in like the wildlife?
What they'll do is they'll try and corner them, usually in a cove of some sort. So where it's like beach, and then cage them in like that, and then they'll take them away like that, put them in nets, and actually take them out of the water.
Do they do this kind of stuff that like zoos as well?
Beyond killer whales, I'm not really sure how many other animals taken. I haven't done any research about that. Sorry.
What has been the backlash from SeaWorld about the movie?
They tried to do this new campaign called, I think it's The Truth About Blackfish, where they actually try and tell you real information. And I've looked into that a little bit, and a lot of it is just really untrue, like about how much they swim and how much they live, for example. In the wild, an orca's been known to live up to 100 years, whereas in captivity, they'll maybe get to 30, and a lot of them who are born in captivity end up actually passing away, like as children.
Why is that?
I think part of it is after an orca mom will have her baby. This actually happened with Katina, who was the first baby Shamu. When Katina was maybe about 3, and this is still the equivalent of like a human 3-year-old. You're learning, you just want to be with your mom, you just want to hang out with your family. Katina was ruining shows, but again, it's just a baby. She didn't know any better. So they decided to take her away and put her in the San Diego park instead. So maybe it's from the separation, but also there's a lot of incest practices between the breeding of orcas, so that definitely probably has a hand in it. Any others? Yeah?
Is anyone doing anything to like stop SeaWorld or like?
Yes, a lot of people are not rioting, picketing SeaWorld, and actually since Blackfish came out, the SeaWorld sales have decreased so much that they haven't actually had like a profitable span of time since Blackfish came out. So people are starting to realize this, the way that SeaWorld does things isn't okay, and a lot of like legal battles have also been fought. Like OSHA has been doing a lot with them, like suing them and making sure they can't do stuff. Like it's part of the U.S. legal thing. I don't remember exactly what it stands for, but they basically make sure that things like zoos and other companies, I think just in general, do have safe practices. So.
Okay, it stands for Occupational Safe and Health. Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So this goes anything from practices that are being investigated for things in terms of food poisoning, OSHA gets involved, to are you being treated fairly on the job, OSHA gets involved. There's a lot of laws that are protecting human beings and if they're being treated to safe work practices. So but if they're being practiced for the animals, that's a different story, and I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, with the animals, that's part of the, for some reason, a part of the agricultural department for some reason, and it's the Animal and Plant Health Services, and they've been working a lot with making the tanks, try and make them bigger, but it's still not very good. Yeah?
What do you think you should do? Like, what would you do?
What would I do? Wait, like, just to try and help, or if I had, like, unlimited power and could do whatever I wanted?
If you had unlimited power.
Then I would work towards getting all of the killer whales that are currently in places like SeaWorld and Bote Parque, which is in Spain. Work towards getting them rehabilitated as Keiko was. And for those who couldn't be rehabilitated, couldn't learn to fish on their own, and those sort of things, I would still get them into the ocean and just like have them in like an open ocean kind of pen so they could feel the ocean and still be able to be alive, but not have to go through the things they have to at SeaWorld. Any others? Do you guys like this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.